Listen, most of our listeners right now have a tax problem, not a money problem. There's not enough money in Social Security Medicare as it is. Let us show you how you can significantly reduce your taxes. That's 888-999-6370. 888-999-6370 or utahsfinancialplanner.com.
Utah, you know sports, and nobody connects with fans like the KSL Sports Zone. Every day, our loyal listeners tune in for the latest on the Jazz and the Mammoth, Utes, Cougars, and Aggies, high school sports, all of it live and local. If you're a business owner looking to grow, this is your audience. Engaged, passionate, ready to respond. And when you combine the power of the zone with digital tools like social, display, streaming audio, geo-targeting, and retargeting, you get a smart, full-funnel strategy built for any budget. Tap into the energy of Utah sports fans and drive real results. Learn more at kslsports.com/advertise.
Broadcasting from the Mountain Home Services Studio, this is 97.5 KZNS FM Colville, 1280 KZNS AM Salt Lake City, and 102.7 KSL FM HD2 Salt Lake City Midvale. This is 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Welcome back.
Yeah, man, how you doing? You good? I know you like that. I know you like that. How long you been back, man? I see the girls in the club, they getting wild for me. And all the pretty chicks all wanna smile at me.
Welcome into the Saturday Show 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Christian Esparza, Alex Napolis back in the studio. Alex was out of town last week enjoying sunny San Francisco. He was not there for the Super Bowl.
No, I didn't go for the Super Bowl. I just went to go. One of my best friends of my life moved out to Sacramento. Him, his wife, and his child moved out there, and so we went to go visit them. Saw the new place. Spent a lot of time in Sacramento. Spent a lot of time in the Bay Area. It was really nice. My first time up there, and that's kind of been the highlight of my week, I guess. It's been a very chaotic week, but
You didn't even go like tailgate the Super Bowl?
No.
Oh.
No, but we were
Missed
in.
opportunity.
I know, but we were in San Francisco on Super Bowl morning. It was fun.
That reminds me of looking back on this is actually so funny. My wife, bit of a Swiftie, she wanted to go see Taylor Swift on the Eras tour. So my wife went with a friend. They went to Toronto, and they were like, "Oh yeah, come with." And I was like, "Well, okay, I'll go to Toronto, but I don't want to go to the Taylor Swift concert." So I was kind of just hanging out in Toronto.
Yeah.
Running around, getting into trouble while my wife was at the Taylor Swift concert. Like, why didn't I just go to the concert? Looking back, I should have just went
You
to the
should have
concert.
just gone to the concert. Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Well, glad to have you back.
Good to be back.
Hatch, nice enough to fill in last week, but glad to have you back. I mean, it's obviously been a hectic week, a really fun week. Got a lot of things to talk about concerning the Utah Jazz, and we will get to that to start the show off. First, I want to wish a happy Valentine's Day to everybody out there. And the reason I want to do that is because next Valentine's Day next year is on Super Bowl Sunday.
That's right.
So if you are listening, if you are spending your Valentine's Day morning listening to a sports show, first off, thank you very much for having your priorities straight. Second off, I want to say make today extra special.
Yes.
So next year you won't feel bad about watching the Super Bowl on Valentine's Day.
There you go.
I just wanted to lead with that.
There you go. No, I agree. This year is the year to go all in because next year I think a lot of people will be preoccupied on Valentine's.
Yeah, I wonder what's going to win, you know? Like,
yeah, I'd be curious.
Are we about to see a severe decline in fancy dining reservations next year?
Probably.
A lot of sports bars are going to be busy on Valentine's Day, probably.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, let's get serious. We got to start with this Jazz stuff, man. We were talking a little bit before the show just about how crazy this situation with the Utah Jazz and, you know, how it's nice to see them at the forefront of the NBA right now, especially with All-Star Weekend. Like, nobody really cares about that. Everybody is talking about the Utah Jazz right now, and this has not been the case since the Rudy and Donovan trades. I know during draft weekend when they drafted Ace Bailey and there was all the controversy there, more on that in a second, the Jazz were getting some run then. But the Jazz have not been this big of a story nationally since they traded away their two-star players. They are finally making their way out. But to reset everything, we got to go to a man named Bobby Marks. He's on ESPN. he kind of started this whole rock slide of everybody slamming the Jazz earlier in the week, talking about the Jazz resting Lauri Markkanen and Jaren Jackson Jr. in the fourth quarter against the Orlando Magic and the Miami Heat. And Bobby Marks had this to say about the Jazz ruining the integrity of the NBA.
I think what Utah is doing right now is messing around with the integrity of the NBA. The ability to sit players, starters, in the fourth quarter, to not call timeouts in the fourth quarter. Orlando won the game on Saturday because they basically rested players, and it backfired on them last night. So I think if you're the league, you're looking at it. All right, can we do some gimmicks? Can we alter protections and eliminate protections as far as picks? Or can we put the hammer down?
Funny enough, the NBA did put the hammer down, right? They fined the Jazz $500,000, and they fined the Indiana Pacers $100,000 for essentially doing the same thing. Integrity is a funny word because what the heck does that mean? That is a very vague word. That's what is Adam Silver going through the box score of every game and saying, that win has integrity. That lineup does not have integrity. I'm going to find them. Whatever, man. Integrity, whatever. But the reason we got to go all the way back to that is because those comments by Bobby Marks sparked the conversation. And
it's what started this all.
Yeah, because that started, and then you see all these, it's like national writers are kind of taking sides. Some people are defending the Jazz because they realize what the Jazz are doing is kind of the only way the Jazz can get better, not only because of, the way the league is structured, but also because they're a small market like Utah. Free agents don't want to come to Utah, so they kind of have to play this game. Or you have other writers that are completely slamming the Jazz.
It's, in the words of the great Ryan Smith, maybe sit this one out, Bobby.
Ryan Smith said this.
Yes. On social media, right? Which we'll get into that here in a moment. But I think just ultimately, the conversation about the integrity of the NBA shouldn't be about the Jazz trying to position themselves in a better spot to get to get their better chances in the lottery, right? To try to improve their team for what the Jazz want to do, and that is to win an NBA championship. The conversation about the integrity of the NBA comes when you have guys like Kawhi Leonard and the LA Clippers trying to circumvent the salary cap by paying him by planting some trees, and that situation seems like it's going to mess with the integrity of the NBA more than the Jazz resting a couple guys in the fourth quarter.
This is another big one. Giannis Antetokounmpo was obviously the talk of the NBA trade deadline because everybody wanted to know where he was going.
Yes.
Literally, I'm not kidding you, Alex. Literally, the day after the NBA trade deadline.
When the prediction markets are putting all this money and pumping all this money into...
Millions of dollars were bet on these prediction market betting websites. Literally the day after the NBA trade deadline, Giannis Antetokounmpo announces a partnership with Kalshi.
That's crazy, man.
I can't even imagine how many millions of dollars were bet on, is Giannis going to stay with the Milwaukee Bucks? Who is Giannis Antetokounmpo's next team going to be? What team is Giannis going to play for in 2027? How many millions of dollars were bet on that? And how much does Giannis benefit from that stupid partnership? So that is messing with the integrity of the NBA.
Right.
Look, I get why people are upset at the Jazz for specifically resting their starters in the fourth quarter. The funny thing is, they won one of those games.
Yeah, they got fined for a game that they won.
And Bobby Marks said it backfired on them because they won one of those games. Look at it this way. They're giving the young guns a chance to go out there and win basketball games. I could get into a whole conversation about how important these final 30 games are because they've got to figure out whether Bryce Sensabaugh has a spot on this team next year, whether Isaiah Collier has a spot on this team next year, whether Kyle Filipowski has a spot on this team next year. So you put those guys in these opportunities in the fourth quarter in close games,
yeah,
they lose in Orlando because they're a young team. They have never done this before. Orlando's a good team. They're trying to make the playoffs. You have the same opportunity in Miami, and you've got these young players winning you a basketball game in the clutch. That's a good thing. So whatever, man. I'm just tired of everybody bagging on Utah. And unfortunately,
I think a lot of people online are tired of the bagging on Utah.
yeah, it's sickening. It's disgusting. Again, going back to the draft, when they got Ace Bailey and ESPN started this whole rumor about Ace Bailey was not going to fly into Utah and he wasn't going to be into Utah when they didn't even, from my understanding, they didn't even need him there for a few days after the draft, but everybody was making a big hubbub that he didn't fly into Salt Lake City immediately. They just saw that Utah got one of the big names in the draft, so they wanted to start a narrative about this polarizing player and everything with his manager that he didn't want to be in Utah. So that's what you get, man. Anytime something good happens to Utah, to the Utah Jazz specifically, it seems like the national media tries to make it out to be a bad thing.
And it's interesting because the whole tanking controversy and this whole conversation about the integrity of the NBA and the Jazz being the most egregious team in tanking, it's interesting because it seems like that narrative was pushed a lot by the big national ESPN, right?
Oh, interesting.
It was mostly coming from guys on that network. And it seems like guys from other people, people from other networks were coming out and signing with the Jazz because they're just taking advantage of the way that the system is set up for them. When it comes to the Jazz, when it comes to teams in the NBA that are, quote unquote small market teams, the only way that you can improve yourself is through the lottery, right? It's hard to lure free agents into those type of markets. It's hard to get some of these superstars that in the NBA to try to convince them to come to your team. And so they're just trying to take advantage of the system that the NBA already has in place for you to try to get your team better.
It's funny they bring up ESPN specifically because outside of all of this, the integrity conversation and the fine, the Jazz had some other big news during the week. Jaren Jackson Jr., their newly acquired star, likely out for the rest of the season because he had what's essentially a benign tumor in his knee removed. Funny enough, that news came after the integrity conversation from Bobby Marks, who normally breaks NBA news. Who, when you think of the biggest NBA news breaker, who do you think of?
Oh, easy, Shams.
And he works for?
ESPN.
Who broke the news of Jaren Jackson Jr.?
Shams. Oh, no, that's right. It was
Chris Haynes.
Yep, you're absolutely right.
NBA insider for
You're absolutely right.
Prime.
Yep.
Not ESPN.
The new network.
And if I recall, Shams hasn't even tweeted about the Jaren Jackson Jr. surgery.
Yep,
to this day.
You're absolutely right.
So
he was busy, man. He was getting ready for a basketball game.
Yeah, a basketball game in which he was on the phone the entire time. So I think it's very clear. I'm just reading between the lines here. I'm just putting my tinfoil cap on.
Yeah.
Bobby Marks goes on a rant on ESPN. Whoever in the Jazz that wanted to get that story out to the press said, okay, ESPN, consider our relationship severed right now.
Yep.
They give this information to Chris Haynes. Let him break the big story. And then you got everybody on ESPN backtracking, trying to repair that relationship with the Utah Jazz.
Yep.
So we played Chris Haynes' clip earlier about messing with the integrity with the NBA. That's, excuse me, Bobby Marks.
Yeah.
About the Jazz messing with the integrity of the NBA. Funny enough, last night, complete 180 on the Jazz.
From Bobby and from Brian Windhorst. Too.
From Bobby and Brian Windhorst and a bunch of other people.
Yeah.
So you already heard Bobby's initial comments from earlier in the week. This is what Bobby Marks had to say yesterday.
I had a team text me last night after this came out, and this is a team not in the lottery, and they said they would basically write a blank check if they had the opportunity to pick in the top three of this year's draft here, based on how good this draft is, based on what the fines could be here.
Interesting.
So that is the approach, and here's the thing, Malika. This is the system. This is the system that the NBA has created. This is a system that teams are following, whether it be Indiana or Toronto last year, or certainly with Utah. Other teams we're probably going to see the next couple days here. And that is the big thing, is how do you fix the system? But I'll say this one more thing. I'm part of the system, because I remember here last week, we're talking about Giannis and Milwaukee, and I said, you know what? The best thing for Milwaukee to do is rest Giannis for the rest of the season so they can get a good draft pick.
Right.
But unless we fix that system, we're going to always have that kind of discussion.
So now you got Bobby Marks doing a literal 180 on air.
Yep.
Earlier in the week, Tuesday or whatever, saying the Jazz are messing with the integrity of the NBA. Now he's saying, you know what? They're just playing the system. They're just doing what they can to get better. I think it's clear that somewhere along the way, relationships were threatened between ESPN and the Utah Jazz.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's the way that game works, man.
And I mean, the same thing can be said about Windhorst.
Yes.
Because Windhorst did the same thing. He backpedaled a little bit on the fine, and after talking about the fine and talking about those comments, backpedaled about, there's good people running these organizations, but they're just forced to make bad decisions to try to get better. Which we have that clip, and we'll play it here in a second. But he also goes on his podcast and basically says, "I'm done talking about the tanking situation. Like, let the tankers be the tankers."
Yeah.
And I don't want to mess with any more relationships with those tanking teams. And that came from his podcast.
Let's play Windy.
Yeah.
Sean, do you have both clips? All right. Let's start with Windy's initial comments. Oh, you only have the most recent one? Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, this is what Windhorst had to say about this.
So first off, I'm going to say the fine is insignificant. I'm not saying that it doesn't affect Ryan Smith to pay $500,000. I'm just saying it's insignificant. The second thing I'm going to say is I have an announcement to make. And I need you all to hold me accountable to this announcement for the next 3 months, because it's going to get tough. It's going to be challenging. I'm giving the tankers a pass. I'm giving them a pass. I could sit here and go chapter and verse to some of the stuff that I'm seeing in Utah, some of the stuff I'm seeing in Washington, in Sacramento, in Indiana. But you know what? I can't blame them, Shay, because they are incentivized to do this. And so therefore, I am determining that these are good people who are good at their jobs, having to make bad decisions because they're incentivized to do so. We see this across humankind. People are sometimes incentivized to do things that are not, for the greater good. They're incentivized to do this. The way that everything is set up, you are incentivized to lose. And so I can say what the Jazz are doing, and I can say I disagree with it, but I can't look at you and say that if I was Ryan Smith or I was Will Hardy or I was Austin Ainge, that I wouldn't do it. And so really what Adam Silver is trying to do here is he's trying to hold his finger in the dam, because he's now we're in mid-February, and he's looking at the landscape, and he realizes that there's about to be a disaster when this thing breaks, because we're going to have 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 teams not trying to win. And he's trying with this to send a message over the bow, please stop, otherwise we're going to get more serious. But they have to change the fundamental issues. Without changing the incentive, you will not change the behavior. You know this with a toddler, and it's true even in billion-dollar businesses.
So there you have it. That was Brian Windhorst's reaction after I can only assume somebody with the Jazz or some higher up at ESPN was like, hey, we don't want to lose this relationship. We got to walk these comments back.
You can't lose that relationship.
Especially because you have him and Bobby Marks saying similar things.
Yeah.
To the Jazz are just doing what they can, what they have to do, the only thing that they can do. And Alex, I wouldn't be surprised because Ryan Smith has such a good relationship with Pat McAfee. And McAfee's show is obviously on ESPN. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Ryan Smith on Pat McAfee sometime next week.
Could be, yeah.
Again, I don't have any insider info. I'm just tinfoil hat conspiracy here. Because, I think ESPN was stepping in it a little bit, and they realized, this is a problem, and it's the NBA's problem. It's not the Utah Jazz's problem. Ryan Smith, look, nobody wants to pay $500,000.
Yeah.
Ryan Smith can take it. He can handle it. He's got let's just say his second income, Utah Mammoth is a lot better second income than anybody else's second income, right?
Sure.
So he can cover that fine. We also have heard some interesting things. I think Bobby Marks said it in his second clip. Like, there have been GMs that have said, "Oh, I'd write a blank check for the number 1 overall pick."
Yes.
I think that's priceless, right?
Yeah.
So it's a price that these owners are willing to pay. Right now, they're playing the game as best they can. And again, this is the NBA's problem that specifically Adam Silver and all the other commissioners that came before him have set up, because right now this is all the Jazz can do to get better. And not just the Jazz, but you look at other teams that are bad. I mean, Charlotte Hornets, I think, are a really good example because they're finally taking the steps towards being a playoff team. I used to love picking on the Charlotte Hornets because they were always picking in the top 5 and it never worked out. Finally, they've got all these top 5 picks gluing together and putting a good basketball team out there. Small market teams, man, the only way to get better is through the draft because nobody wants to be traded there. Nobody wants to go there through free agency. So you got to do these slow rebuilds and get a lot of high draft picks and build that way.
I feel like there's a couple examples of that right now in the NBA, right? You just mentioned the Hornets. I'll throw out the Pistons out there for you, man.
Mm-hmm.
The Pistons right now too, what they've been able to do. I remember a couple years ago they had the worst record. They were always in the lottery positions, and they were trying to figure things out there. But the Detroit Pistons now, all of a sudden, are one of the best teams in the East.
Yep.
In a wide open East, right? And so absolutely, man. When it comes to the tanking controversy and when it comes to the Utah Jazz, the only way that you can position yourself in a spot where you can be back to competing for the Western Conference and back into competing for NBA championships, it's going to be building through the draft. It's going to be using these lottery picks, and especially in this draft specifically, man, this is such a deep draft, and everybody talks about this being one of the best drafts in the last couple of years, with how many players are at the top that can potentially come in and be franchise-changing players, and so everybody wants a piece of the pie, right? Everybody wants an opportunity to be able to go out there and try to get some of the best talent that you're seeing coming into the NBA draft this season, including someone who may or may not have a chance at that at a top 8, top 9 pick in Sam Presti and the OKC Thunder.
I know.
They want that pie, man.
You talk about wrinkles. That is the whole other wrinkle to this is, why was ESPN initially basically complaining about this? Oh, other people putting the dots together. I didn't come up with this one. Sam Presti was probably in their ears.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously, GM of the Thunder, the Jazz owe their pick to the Thunder if it falls outside the top 8. Sam Presti sees what the Jazz are doing and says, hey, that's not fair. The Jazz are good enough to convey this pick. They're being bad on purpose so they don't have to convey it. I want that pick. Which, to be honest with you, Alex, I don't blame Sam Presti
I don't either.
He's doing what he's got to do. And if, Danny Ainge, Austin Ainge, Jay-Z, Ryan Smith were on the flip side of that, if they had a top 8 protected pick owed to them, I would expect them to fight for that pick as well.
Exactly.
So I don't blame Sam Presti for that at all.
No.
I just think it's a really funny look behind the curtains of how all of these national companies, national outlets, and their relationships with GMs and owners and such work.
Yeah. As far as the Sam Presti thing goes, and OKC being the one making the noise and pointing the finger at the Jazz and and going, making this happen behind the scenes, you can't blame them, right? Because we just talked about it. This draft is one of the best drafts you've seen in years, and everybody wants a chance at one of those players. And if Sam Presti has the opportunity to get the Jazz to convey that pick, then absolutely, I'm going to be doing my best to be sounding the alarms and doing this. And so I've seen everybody online going after Sam Presti, but I mean, would you do anything differently in that situation?
No, man. I expect him to fight for the pick.
Absolutely.
So
is it annoying?
Yeah,
sure.
It's annoying.
From our perspective, yeah, absolutely.
This
it's
whole
annoying
stupid pick is annoying.
Exactly, because this whole situation could have been avoided if Sam Presti isn't going and getting in the ears of ESPN and the national outlets and saying, "What are the Jazz doing, man? What's going on in Utah?" And so, I don't blame Sam Presti at all. I absolutely, like I said, everybody wants a piece of the pie, and I don't blame Sam Presti at all.
So clearly, the NBA has a problem, and it needs to get fixed. I do think this is funny because the whole reason that Adam Silver is handing down fines right now. As of, I guess the fine came out 2 days ago, Thursday. Well, it's NBA All-Star Weekend. Adam Silver has to speak to the media at All-Star Weekend.
Yeah.
He has to, answer questions about what's he going to do to solve this. Why are the Jazz not facing repercussions for what they did? So that I think it's pretty easy to see there why the fine came when it did.
Hand out some fines. You don't have to answer the questions.
Oh, he better answer some freaking questions.
He has to.
I do think, though, this is a larger problem that needs to be addressed, not just with fines. I think it's a whole systemic thing that completely needs to be reworked.
Yeah.
When you look at people's proposals to fix tanking and fix the draft, there's a lot of ideas out there, right? And I think I'll start with this. I don't want to make this too convoluted of a conversation, and maybe we can just tease this and get into it next segment. But the two biggest problems when people have an idea for this, number one, they're way too convoluted, right? I shouldn't need a rule book on how the NBA draft is going to work, on how the draft order standings are going to work. If you go by record and this team and I don't know. I've just heard so many ideas out there that, yes, in theory they work and they reward bad teams while also incentivizing winning, but it's so complicated. I don't want that. I want, the casual NBA fan to be able to understand how this works.
Yeah.
Number two, and I kind of mentioned it there, bad teams still need to be, I don't want to say rewarded, but they need to have an avenue out, right? Because if you have teams that aren't the worst team in the NBA picking at the top of the draft, that's how you get teams in purgatory, like the Charlotte Hornets were for so long. Like, the Pistons, remember when they had the worst record and they dropped to 5, or similar to the Utah Jazz even, right? I truly think the worst team in the NBA deserves the number 1 pick, deserves, with quotation marks around that. Those are my two things that I look at when I think of proposals to quote unquote fix the NBA is don't make it too complicated and still give the bad teams a way out.
Yeah. Something has to change.
Yeah.
Right. Because I don't know if this is necessarily sustainable for teams who are consistently trying to get better, trying to position yourself better in the lottery, right? You look at the last couple of lotteries and teams who made the play-in tournament, teams who were technically, right, in consideration to be into the playoffs, have won the number 1 overall pick. So you're not even taking teams like the Washington Wizards and the Pelicans and whoever else had the worst record last year with the Jazz. I can't remember who else was there, but teams like that are falling down in the lottery, and teams like the Spurs are making big jumps. Teams like the Hawks, who won the lottery a couple years ago, and then the Mavs, obviously, in that situation last year with Cooper Flagg. And so you're having teams who are technically in the play and technically fighting for a playoff spot. I consider the play-in tournament playoff teams.
Yeah.
These are playoff teams who are now going out and getting the number 1 overall pick. It's not sustainable for teams who are in that purgatory, like the Wizards, like the Pelicans, and other teams who are consistently trying to make themselves better through the lottery, but they keep falling down and missing out on the players who can come in and change franchises. Those players end up going to teams who are already in the playoffs.
I 1,000% agree with you, and that's why one of the most common proposals that I see is just completely flattening the lottery odds across all 30 teams. I think that is a terrible idea.
No.
I absolutely hate that idea.
What's going to happen when the Celtics win an NBA championship and they get the number 1 overall pick?
And it's going to happen eventually.
Absolutely.
No, I'm totally with you. I think that's the biggest problem with the lottery is you're giving, the crazy part is the Mavericks. And when it happened to the Hawks and when it happened to the Spurs, their odds to win the number 1 pick were so minuscule. But how do those teams, that's 3 years in a row, 3 drafts in a row. If those odds are so minuscule, how come it keeps happening?
And it's three drafts in a row where the number 1 team, right, the worst team in the NBA, falls all the way out of all the way down to 5, which is the lowest they can absolutely fall.
Right. So I think the current system is set up the wrong way.
It's very flawed. It's very flawed, and I think ultimately the national media shouldn't be going after the Jazz for resting guys in the fourth quarter. They're pointing the fingers and getting upset about the wrong things. The fingers should be pointed at the NBA. The fingers should be pointed at Adam Silver.
Yeah.
And it's time to come in and say we need to reform this. We need to reform whatever this system is, because it's clearly not working for everybody.
The biggest problem, I think, is the Jazz have always been a punching bag for everybody outside of Utah.
Yeah.
I sit here and I make fun of the Hornets or we make fun of the Wizards.
I mean, how many people were online talking about Jaren Jackson being unhappy coming to Utah?
Right. And that's
after like 2 hours of him being traded.
It sucks, and we know it's not true, but that's the narrative outside of Utah. Frankly, I don't know if it's because they've never won a championship. It's sad because historically the Jazz are one of the most competitive sports franchises, not just NBA teams, but sports franchises in the country.
Yeah.
They just don't get respect ever. And so whenever something doesn't go the Jazz's way, people love to sit here and crap on them, essentially. So let's get into some ideas to fix the NBA. I've got one. I think it's pretty good. I think it's pretty good, and it's not complicated at all. So we'll get to that next. Stick with us. It's the Saturday Show, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
This is DJ and PK.
Here we go again.
Joined once again by Andy Bailey.
Why do you think the Jazz have become the whipping boy with tanking now?
I guess optically it looks a little different what they've done the last couple games. Playing your guys for 3 quarters and then sitting them for the entire fourth is maybe a little different than what some teams have done. But Utah is far from the only team that's tried to take advantage of tanking over the last few years. We just saw multiple teams richly rewarded by it over the last few years. The Spurs get Wembanyama, the Thunder load up their roster the way they did. It's ridiculous, frankly. I think the national reaction to what Utah is doing. The other thing that I haven't mentioned too is if you're a small market in the NBA, there really aren't any other avenues for a team building. Like, this is it. This is how you have to do it. So I don't blame them one bit, and I frankly find a lot of the national reaction to it silly and stupid.
Catch DJ and PK mornings from 6 to 10 on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Hi, this is Doug Wright. You've heard me talk now for years about the Connecticut soft water system that we have in our home. As we head into the colder weather, if you're dealing with dry and itchy skin, do you notice your skin is cracking? It's uncomfortable and the lotion doesn't seem to give you the relief you need? Hard water may be a hidden contributor to that pain and discomfort of dry, itchy skin. I've got Monty here from Connecticut Quality Water Systems of Salt Lake, an authorized independent Connecticut dealer and an expert in overcoming challenges with hard water here in Utah.
Yeah, thanks, Doug. When you shower in hard water, the minerals don't rinse away completely, forming a film in your skin, leaving you feeling tight, dry, and constantly itching.
So the hard water minerals are essentially leaving a sticky residue on my body and even in my hair?
Exactly. Connecticut removes the minerals before they touch your skin, leaving you feeling silky, smooth, and comfortable.
Do what I did and stop buying expensive lotions and start treating the source of the problem. Find out how soft your water could be at softwaterutah.com.
Be advised, this is your opportunity to save up to 40 to 80% on a hot tub or swim spa this weekend only, today through Sunday. 2 locations, Salt Lake City and Hurricane. Be advised, this is your opportunity to save up to 40 to 80% on a hot tub or swim spa. Utah State Fair Park and Washington County Fair Legacy Park. 18-month interest-free financing. Our factories have demanded we sell 1,000 hot tubs and swim spas this weekend. Utah State Fair Park. Huge factory incentives, factory rebates, this weekend only. Washington County Fair Legacy Park. We can remove your old hot tub. Free delivery of your new hot tub. Just relax and enjoy. Starting price is too low to advertise. Today through Sunday. 2 locations, Salt Lake City and Hurricane. Utah State Fair Park and Washington County Fair Legacy Park. Deep, deep discounts. Today, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Tomorrow, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Free admission, free parking, free delivery. 2 locations, Salt Lake City and Hurricane. Call 833-SPA-SALE or visit hottubandSwimSpaSale.com.
The KSL Sports Zone is your home for live local sports. Today at 2 o'clock, the BYU Cougars are hosting the Colorado Buffaloes in a Big 12 game. It'll tip off at 2 at the Marriott Center, and you can listen on 102.7 FM. And then the Memphis Tigers make a rare trip to Logan to face Utah State in the Spectrum tonight at 6 o'clock. Scott Gerard has the call on 97.5 The Zone. If you want to hear your company's name here and spread your brand to thousands of potential customers, email Stephanie Palmer at spalmer@ksl.com.
Disasters can strike when we least expect them, and pets often get caught in the chaos. Hurricanes, wildfires, tornadoes, and other emergencies can separate pets from their families in an instant. Being prepared can make all the difference, not just for you, but for your pets. That's where Love Lost comes in. Our free, easy-to-use database uses photo matching technology to help reunite lost pets with their families quickly and safely. Whether you've lost or found a pet, just upload a photo and search the largest free national lost and found pet database. Love Lost features lost and found pets from thousands of animal shelters, community members, and reports from partner social media platforms, including the Ring/Neighbors app and Nextdoor, to find potential matches. In times of disaster, our central database can help reunite displaced pets across county or state lines. Take a simple step to prepare. Register your pet at lovelost.org today. That's lovelost.org.
Catch the excitement May 14th through 16th with the Epson Tour Copper Rock Championship. Golf's next-gen LPGA stars competing on a course as stunning as it is challenging. Come for the game. Stay for the journey. Tickets and info at copperrockchampionship.com.
Hey, this is Chris with JCW's. Drop in for one of our delicious gourmet burgers made with 100% choice Grand Chuck. We're in Lehigh, American Fork, Provo, South Jordan, and Harriman. JCW's, quality and a lot of it.
Welcome back to the Saturday Show 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Christian Esparza, Alex Napolis, thank you for making a part of your Valentine's Saturday morning.
Absolutely.
Hopefully you're listening to us or watching us while you're making your significant other breakfast in bed or something.
Yeah.
That sounds nice.
Do something nice.
Hope you got great plans for tonight.
Got anything going
it
on,
may
man?
be. I'm working the Utah State game.
Oh, that's right. Well, happy Valentine's.
Oh, thanks. We celebrated last night.
You and Scotty can
Yeah.
can be each other's Valentine today.
So, Alex, we spent a lot of time last segment talking about the Jazz and everything they did. By the way, talking about integrity with the NBA, talking about Giannis Antetokounmpo signing with Kalshi the day after the NBA trade deadline. $23 million were bet on Kalshi specifically on where his next team would be.
Wow.
And then he signs with them the next day.
That, again, is more... That, to me, is messing more with the integrity of the NBA than the Jazz resting Larry Markkinen and Jaren Jackson Jr. in the fourth quarter in a game that they won.
Yep.
Come on. What are we doing?
I think we can agree, right? The biggest problem is not what the Jazz are doing. It's how the NBA is set up. It's how... now you've got Bobby Marks and Brian Windhorst saying that, the Jazz are doing what they have to do. The Jazz are playing the system because the system is set up this way.
Yeah.
I think it's clear that the NBA needs to fix the draft, the way the draft is set up, to fix tanking. And a lot of people have ideas on this. I've heard a lot of thoughts. We mentioned last segment flattening the lottery odds across all 30 teams. I think that's a terrible idea. You don't want to give the NBA champion the same percentage to win the number one pick as the worst team in the NBA. I think the biggest thing you need to remember is there are still truly bad teams in the NBA, right? There are teams that are tanking, and that is true. In an ideal world, there wouldn't be. But there's always going to be teams intentionally losing to improve their odds. There are also genuinely bad teams that need a high draft pick to get better. That's just how it works. That's how sports work. So how do you come up with a way that's not too complicated but still rewards the worst team in the NBA? I'm going to say it. I think they just got to get rid of the lottery entirely. Just get rid of the draft lottery. I think it's a dumb idea anyway. Last segment, we talked about how stupid it is that the last 3 drafts, play-in teams or teams almost in the play-in have won the number 1 overall pick. What did they do to deserve to pick Cooper Flagg or Victor Wembanyama? Mm-hmm. Right? And you look at the Pistons, you look at the Jazz, and those teams get screwed because of the lottery. If they would have got, if the Jazz would have got Wemby, the Jazz weren't tanking that year. If the Jazz would have got Cooper Flagg, they wouldn't be where they are right now. They wouldn't have been fined $500,000.
Yeah.
Because they, again, would have been able to get a generational prospect. So remove the lottery, just do the draft order based off of record. And that's not going to remove tanking. You're still going to get teams losing games to improve their draft position. That's always going to happen. I don't think there's anything you can do ever to completely remove that from the NBA. But at the very, very least, you are giving bad teams an avenue out. And I think that's the most important part of the NBA draft. Because free agency is not a thing anymore. The only way to acquire talent in the NBA is the draft, through trades, and free agency.
Yeah.
So I think that's the biggest thing. And then you can do some supplemental changes to that, like probably putting some removing protections, because that's why the Jazz are tanking this year. Because I think I'm comfortable saying if the Jazz did not owe a top 8 protected pick to Oklahoma City, they'd be fine pushing for the play-in this year. I think I'm very comfortable saying that. So you take protections off of trades, and then you maybe, if you want to get a little policey, a little complicated, then you could say, all right, you can't pick in the top 3 2 years in a row.
Yeah.
And you can't pick top 5 3 times in 3 years, you know? So I think that's how you kind of get teams that it's like, okay, you know, Wizards, like, put up or shut up.
You maybe give the Wizards a chance to finally get out
like,
of
do something or get off the pot,
yeah,
you know?
Exactly.
So you don't get these teams perpetually bad. I do think there could be something done to, you know, if a team was in the NBA Finals the year before, then their pick can't be in the top 5, looking at you, Pacers, right? Some things like that. But I think as far as simply fixing the draft, that's my big thing, man, is just take away the lottery. I think it's a dumb idea anyway. I've always thought that.
Yeah, I've always thought that too, because again, I mean, in a situation that we've seen the last couple of years where you have teams in the play-in winning the number 1 overall pick, it just doesn't make sense. Doesn't seem fair in ways. You have to do something to fix. You have to do something to fix the problem in the NBA, because again, it's just it's not sustainable for teams who are perpetually trying to tank and perpetually trying to get the number 1 overall pick, and then they keep missing, and then next year, oh well, we're just going to keep doing the same until we can finally get that player that changes the franchise, like the Wizards. Not sure how I feel about this, but there's a lot of rumors and a lot of word floating around up there that they're discussing tournaments.
I think that's a terrible idea as well.
I think that's a terrible idea.
You're going to ask these players to go out there and compete to get replaced by somebody else? You know, why?
And how do you determine... sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm just going to say, so the popular theory with this is having a tournament, and the winner of the tournament gets the number 1 overall pick. If you are the Jazz and you are Bryce Sensabaugh,
yeah,
why would you go out there and play hard knowing that there's a very good chance whoever they draft with that number 1 pick takes your spot?
Yeah.
That makes no sense to me.
And shouldn't the winner of this so-called, lottery tournament, shouldn't the winner be the best team out of all those teams?
Yeah,
So who really gets the number 1 overall pick?
Yeah.
The worst team or the best team?
That's why a lot of these theories that you see floating around there, it's like, okay, it's completely swaying the other way. Like, okay, we don't want to give the worst record the number 1 pick, so that'll decentivize tanking. Let's give the number 1 pick to the most mid team in the NBA. That's the dumbest idea ever, because you're still going to get teams that should be in the playoffs intentionally losing to make that, draft tournament, and then they just turn it on and dominate.
Yep.
Or it's like, okay, let's give the another theory. Let's give the play-in teams a tournament for the number 1 pick. You're going to get playoff quality teams that intentionally miss the playoffs just to win that tournament.
Yeah.
No, that's why, again, stop making it so complicated. I think that truly the best thing for this, make it like every other league. I know the NHL has a lottery, I guess, but like it just makes so much more sense to give the worst record the number 1 pick and remove protections. And if you do those 2 big things, you're not going to get a third of the league tanking, because a third of the league is not going to have a chance for the number 1 pick.
It makes sense to me.
I don't know. It
makes sense to me.
The big thing to remember with this too is there's not going to be a perfect answer. Sports are always flawed. The Raiders traded for a quarterback that they thought was going to be good.
Yeah.
They hired Pete Carroll, thought he was going to be an excellent coach. They were a disaster last year. They're picking number 1 in the NFL draft. That's fine. You're always going to get a team that is bad like I like to say bad on accident, right? New Orleans Pelicans this year completely misjudged their roster. They traded away this year's pick. They owe it to Atlanta. Whoops, they're bad. Like, you're always going to get bad teams. And it just happens. It's part of sports. And I think that, especially with you get into parity and things like that, like it's an 82-game NBA season. You should be able to sift out which teams are, quote-unquote, deserving of picking high because they're bad.
Yeah.
Another aspect of this that I think NBA Adam Silver kind of set the precedent with, you want to find the Jazz and the Pacers? All right, find everybody. Don't just pick and choose who you want to find. Don't just make this a one-time thing. If you want to get serious about fixing this tanking problem, go out there and find everybody. Find the Wizards for shutting down Trae Young and Anthony Davis as soon as they acquire them.
Yes.
In trades. Those guys never even suited up for the Wizards. They got shut down immediately.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Zach Levine
Zach Levine with the Kings.
Yeah, Zach Levine with the Kings. He's out for the rest of the season.
And again, obviously you don't want to find teams just for players suffering season-ending injuries. Like, I know the Pacers got fined, but what they've been doing has been just as egregious as the Jazz, if not even worse. Like, they've been sitting Pascal Siakam every other game. They acquired Zubats at the deadline. And
I don't think he hasn't played
He
yet.
has not played.
No,
All of a
hasn't
sudden,
played
he
yet.
has a phantom ankle injury that he played every single game with the Clippers before the trade deadline.
Yeah.
As soon as he gets traded to Indiana, oh, yeah, he's got an ankle sprain. It's pretty bad. We don't think he should play the rest of the year. Okay, you got to look. I don't really have an answer for this one outside of just laying down the hammer on everybody. Stop being selective and finding the small market teams.
Yeah.
I think you really got to get serious about these player participation policies and really get after the teams that don't follow those. Like, if you're going to set up a rule, make sure these guys follow it.
If Bobby Marks is talking about laying down the hammer and going after these teams who are egregiously tanking, then it should be across the board. It shouldn't just be the Jazz and the Pacers who are getting the slap on the wrist. It should be everybody in the NBA who's essentially doing the same thing.
Yeah.
And are probably doing it worse. And I'm looking at the Wizards specifically with getting
the
Trae
Wizards
Young,
right now,
getting Trae Young, getting AD, and neither of them suiting up yet.
The Wizards are 14-39. They have the second worst record in the NBA right now at All-Star Weekend. If the season ended today, they would have a 52% chance at a top 4 pick, a 14% chance as the number 1 overall pick. If you'll remember, the Wizards were also the second worst record in the NBA last year. So I think, again, like going back to my idea, I do think you need some sort of limitation to where a team can't be that bad back-to-back years. There does need to be something about, like, you can't just be bad every year and hope that things are going to eventually fall your way. Like, you want to give teams a reason to build through the draft and want to get better, not just be bad every year, hoping that, okay, this year our rookie is going to be something. Like, that's why I truly like what the Jazz have done, even though they are the talk of tanking right now. Like, they picked Taylor Hendricks, what was it, 9th overall, and Cody Williams was 10th overall. Taylor Hendricks isn't even on the team anymore.
Yeah.
Cody Williams is fighting for a roster spot. Their main star right now, Keontae George, was a guy that they drafted 3 years ago, and he's finally taking that step towards being a star. Like, it's not a generational number 1 pick that they got that's leading this team out of the turnaround. I do think that there are a lot of good NBA players that enter the draft every year. Even if they're not picked in the top 5, there's a lot of talent.
Yeah.
Teams are just too lazy to develop these guys. I think that's a big problem too. But again, there's no perfect solution. There's no way to really fix tanking. I think you just got to stop complicating things for yourself and stop rewarding these mid teams.
Yeah. I hope, it's All-Star Weekend, obviously, and Adam Silver will be chatting with the media
tomorrow
coming up because of All-Star Weekend, and so I hope that conversations are had with people asking him questions and making Commissioner Silver talk about this situation, because I think a lot of people need to hear that there is something that he wants to do, and he wants something to be done about this situation. Because it's not the national media should not be going after the Jazz and making the Jazz the poster child of this whole situation. It ultimately falls on the commissioner and Adam Silver and the NBA, because it's the system that they set up and it's the system that they have in place, and changes need to be made.
You know what sickens me the most is he's gonna give the absolute most BS answers tomorrow.
Absolutely.
If he has an idea of what to do, it's gonna be the dumbest idea, like some sort of
the tournament. Yeah.
There have been rumors that is being talked about behind the scenes. That
man.
is such a dumb idea, and it's the reason I say that is because you look at the stupid ideas that Adam Silver has had, like the play-in tournament, like the stupid in-season tournament, all this stuff that is not doing anything to improve the quality of the NBA or whatever he's tried to do to fix the All-Star game. Nothing that he has done has made people actually want to watch the NBA more.
Yeah.
He is, I don't know if he's just out of touch with what he thinks NBA fans want, but it doesn't seem to me like he has a sense of how to truly fix something. He's just adding more and more nonsense.
It just seems like right now the NBA is more concerned about content creation, and it seems like they're more concerned about entertainment value more than the competition.
And is that really growing the game? I have a hard time believing that.
I have a hard time agreeing.
No. So yeah, whatever dumb excuse he gives tomorrow, I think if I were to bet on Call Sheet right now, it would be the dumbest idea I've ever heard.
Yes.
Can't wait to hear it.
It's probably going to be the tournament. If it's addressed and if it's mentioned
this early tomorrow,
it might be that. I could absolutely see it being this draft lottery tournament that everybody's talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see. Speaking of All-Star Weekend, we'll hit on some of that next. Got some local representation. Ace Bailey playing for the Rising Stars team, and Taylor Frankie Paul playing in the Celebrity All-Star Game. Got to talk about her stat line next. No, we'll get into technical fouls. In reality, that's what we'll hit next is technical fouls. We got some funny ones, Alex.
We do.
Stick with us. It's the Saturday Show, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
This is Jake Scott and Ben Anderson.
There's problem solvers. I'm not one of them. I'm a problem creator.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, right. I call it challenging groupthink, but really I'm an instigator.
See, I'm more of a problem pointer-outer.
Doing it wrong.
Exactly. Which I'd probably rather be than a problem creator.
Sure, it's better.
But easier than problem solver.
Neither help.
No, nothing.
Neither fix anything.
No. I mean, my living is to pop on the microphone and say, hey, that team really stunk out there. Well, how did they make it better? I don't know.
Not my problem.
Don't you get paid to figure that out? Boy, that team stinks. Why do they stink? Well, I could give you a number of different reasons.
How do you fix it?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It's your problem.
Not up to me.
I missed the part where that's my problem.
I love this job.
Hear Jake Scott and Ben Anderson every day from 10 to noon on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
This President's Day, Pure Talk is honoring Jackson and Lincoln by offering unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data for just $25 a month. Meanwhile, Big Wireless is honoring Benjamin Franklin by charging families hundreds of dollars for the same 5G service. What's up with that? Ben Franklin wasn't even a president. When you switch to Pure Talk, you'll be in business with an American wireless company that supports our vets in a big way and keeps all their customer service in this country. That's important. And you'll be on the same towers the big carriers use, so you'll get the same 5G service without the inflated price. So hang on to your Benjamins and switch to Pure Talk for a Jackson and a Lincoln. No contract, no hidden fees. Dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe, and you'll get 50% off your first month when you switch. That's pound 250, Mike Rowe, for an American wireless company that is truly unprecedented. Pure Talk.
If you've been disappointed by underachieving savings, a high-yield certificate from America First can be a fantastic way to help your money start doing more. Whether you're planning for an upcoming expense or just want to save smarter and earn bigger, America First's flexible certificates are an outstanding way to grow your cash. So don't wait to get your money working. Head to americafirst.com and open a high-yield certificate today. Membership eligibility terms, conditions, and change apply. Fees could reduce account earnings. Federally insured by NCUA.
The KSL Sports Zone is your home for live local sports. Today at 2 o'clock, the BYU Cougars are hosting the Colorado Buffaloes in a Big 12 game. It'll tip off at 2 at the Marriott Center, and you can listen on 102.7 FM. And then the Memphis Tigers make a rare trip to Logan to face Utah State in the Spectrum tonight at 6 o'clock. Scott Gerard has the call on 97.5 The Zone. If you want to hear your company's name here and spread your brand to thousands of potential customers, email Stephanie Palmer at spalmer@ksl.com.
Bar Dub Grill is where roadside classics meet ranch-raised flavor. Sink your teeth into juicy, handcrafted burgers made with premium Bar W beef straight from the local Utah farm. From the bold cowboy barbecue burger to the sweet and savory Aloha burger, paired with crispy cowboy fries, hand-spun shakes, or signature spud nuts. Soft, airy, and unforgettable. Bar Dub Grill delivers honesties with cowboy swagger. Bar Dub Grill in Nephi with easy access right off exit 222 in Nephi.
There's a spark in every child. A spark of energy, of curiosity, of possibility. But too many Native American children face poverty and life in survival mode, putting the childhoods they deserve out of reach. They need a safe and supportive place to grow. A place like St. Joseph's Indian School.
You don't have to worry about where your next meal's coming from. You don't have to worry about somebody coming in and hurting you. Here you can just be a kid that plays basketball, or a kid that plays on the playground, or a kid that does art, and they can really work on themselves and be who they're meant to be.
For almost 100 years, St. Joseph's Indian School has served a greater purpose beyond the classroom, caring for children in mind, body, heart, and spirit, turning the spark in every child into a lifelong flame and a brighter future.
You help light a spark in a kid, and it feels so good. You just want to light a spark in every kid.
Light a spark today at stjo.org.
Arrive in style for all of life's events, from the first suit to the first dance, from preparing to serve to starting a life together. At every age, at every milestone, for nearly 60 years, Mr. Mac, helping you look your best for all of life's events.
Listen every Monday morning to DJ and PK, and Monday afternoon with JJ and Alex for your Chevy Strong Play of the Game. Win great prizes from Rocky Mountain Chevy.
If you're coming from the street with dirty shoes on your feet, that's a technical foul. If you switch the radio to some modern music show, that's a technical foul. If you touch the thermostat,
you'll get hit with a bat.
'Cause that's a technical foul.
You will feel my wrath.
That's a technical foul.
Personal foul, 69, offense. He was giving them the business.
A technical foul.
Welcome back to the Saturday Show, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Christian Esparza, Alex Napolis. I want to thank you for making us part of your Saturday morning. Always want to extend the invitation to anybody listening. You know, if you have something to say about the show, send a call in. We were talking about at least my solution to fix the NBA tanking problem in the draft. If you have an idea, if you have a thought you want to share, please feel free to send a call in. Use the KSL Sports app. There's a little button on the bottom right that says call in. Just send a quick audio message into the show. We'd love to play it, love to get some feedback there. Or just drop a comment. We're live on YouTube as well. Comment section there. Love getting some interaction with listeners. So
Absolutely.
Always want to extend the invitation there. But Alex, it is time for Technical Fouls. One of our favorite segments every week. We talk about some of the funnier things that go on in sports. This one happened earlier in the week, and knowing that we have to do the show on Saturdays, like I've always got my ear to the ground, gathering content. What can I talk about for Technical Fouls? And I saw this Tuesday, I think it was, and I was like, oh man, I can't wait to talk about this. So obviously the Seahawks won the Super Bowl on last Sunday, sorry. Kenneth Walker, the third, the running back, he wins MVP. Kenneth Walker is also a pending free agent. When free agency opens in like a month, he is going to be unrestricted. He can go anywhere he wants. He's going to be able to negotiate with a ton of teams. Obviously going to have a lot more leverage now that he just won Super Bowl MVP. So during the Seahawks championship parade, John Schneider, the GM for the Seahawks, was up on the podium, and he had this to say about Kenneth Walker.
To Ken Walker being the MVP, let's go! Woo! He tried negotiating with me 5 minutes ago. It was really weird. Anyway, hey, MVP, MVP! MVP!
The quiet little awkward chuckles in the background. That's the best part, man.
He tried negotiating with me 5 minutes ago. It was really weird. So he's either making a joke, and it was a really, really bad joke that just completely fell flat.
Yep.
Or he's serious, and Ken Walker really did try negotiating, which is a bad move.
Horrible move.
Time and place, bro.
Horrible move on the both of them.
Right.
Not the place, not the time. When your GM is a little under the influence on the Super Bowl parade, right?
Yeah.
And then bad on the GM to air him out like that in front of everybody,
right?
During your Super Bowl victory parade. If he did actually try to negotiate his contract 5 minutes ago, right, or whatever, during that moment. Bad on Kenneth Walker and bad on John Schneider for putting him on blast.
It is funny because obviously he's a key part of the Seahawks team. Last year during the regular season, they had two running backs, Ken Walker and Zach Charbonnet.
Yes,
Charbonnet tore his ACL.
Yeah.
So they need Ken Walker to return and be their workhorse.
Yeah.
Or they're going to have absolutely nobody at running back. So I can totally understand why John Schneider would want to get up there and be like, hey, shout out to Ken Walker, Super Bowl MVP. This video is so funny because Walker's right behind him in the video.
Yeah.
And, you can see his face that he makes, and he's like, he looks dead inside. So either he's going to get a bag from Seattle coming up in just a few weeks, or he's going to get a bag from some other team.
Somebody else.
He's a very talented player. I've liked him for a long time. It's just super awkward. And there's always awkward moments from these championship parades because, as you pointed out, Alex, everybody is under the influence.
Yes. Which brings me to the next point. Technical foul to that entire Super Bowl parade because you had guys like Ernest Jones going up and giving an FU to the whole league, and then you had everybody with the Sam Darnold shirt with Sam Darnold, putting up the birds. And so
I like what Ernest Jones had to say.
Every time that you had, a picture of the Super Bowl parade up on ESPN, everything was blurred out because there were so many. It was not kid friendly. It was not family friendly. So
which is good.
Technical foul to that entire Super Bowl parade.
Because there was some controversy. Seattle public schools didn't give the day off for the parade, so there was a lot of hubbub about let our kids go to the parade. This is why you don't.
Yeah, but true. But the pictures are going to be ESPN's going to be running the videos and the pictures all day on on SportsCenter or whatever, and so they just had to blur everything out because again, it was not family friendly.
Yeah.
Yeah. My technical foul for the week goes to the Norwegian biathlete.
Which one?
I'm not going to attempt his name. The Norwegian who in an interview went up and confessed to cheating on a live broadcast, right? Confessed to cheating on his ex-girlfriend and was begging for her back in this interview.
Yeah, he said that he had been dating this girl for about 6 months. And about 3 months ago, he cheated on her. Last week, he admitted to cheating on her. She broke up with him. Now he's in the Winter Olympics competing. He won a bronze medal on, this was Monday or Tuesday.
Yeah.
He was on live TV after winning the bronze, and he admits to the world this whole situation. The next day on social media, she responded.
She did.
Do you have her quote of what she said?
I do not have her direct quote, but she did respond to. She went on to BBC anonymously, and sent in her response to what he said, to that live interview.
She basically said, I did not choose to be in this position, and it hurts to be in it. It sounds like they're not going to get back together.
No.
We do have a slight update to the story because he did win bronze again yesterday.
Hey, there you go. There you go.
So maybe adding another bronze medal will win her back. But yeah, this is a Valentine's Day story gone bad.
Yes.
Don't cheat on your significant other. I think that's the main takeaway.
Absolutely. And then, of course, I feel, too, a little bit bad for the interviewer because, the interviewer went up and said, how do you feel in this moment, right? To try to celebrate his victory or trying to, celebrate his accomplishment. and then he makes it all about him cheating on his ex-girlfriend. That's got to be the most awkward interview. Like, I don't know how you move on from that. I don't know what question you ask next after that. You just say, okay, move on, or are you okay? Like, I don't know. Everything about this was just very awkward, and good for the girl responding and saying, hey, you're a cheater, and I don't care.
I told her a week ago, and it's been the worst week of my life. This was all in Norwegian, by the way. It's why we're not playing it.
Yeah.
This has been the worst week of my life. I had a gold medal in life, and there's probably a lot of people out there who look at me differently now, but I only have eyes for her. Sports has taken a bit of a back seat these past couple of days. Yeah, I wish I could share this with her. So I also think maybe he would have won gold. Like, he won bronze with all of this on his mind. Maybe if he was not focused on this, maybe he would have won gold.
Who knows?
And her response was, I did not choose to be put in this position, and it hurts to have to be in it. We have had contact, and he is aware of my positions on this. She is remaining anonymous, by the way, which I think is a good thing.
Yeah.
Sometimes these identities will be revealed, and you'll get, like...
It's not good.
This guy, Sturla Holm is his name. All 5 Sturla Holm fans would probably track her down and get after her.
Everybody would be in her Instagram comments. Because that's what people seem to do these days. They just go.
But remember, this guy cheated on her, right? Like, it's not like...
Yeah.
It's not like he's some stand-up guy, I can assume. I don't know. But he is a Olympian medal winner.
There you go. Bronze winner.
2-time
bronze winner. And the bronze winner and the winner of the most awkward interview at this year's Winter Olympics.
Yeah. I think so. It's hard to make interviews awkward.
Well, he did it.
All right, stick with us. We are going to get into some more next. We've got a lot going on locally with the Jazz. We'll also give some updates on Team USA hockey. They're playing again today. We'll get into all of that coming up. Stick with us. It's the Saturday Show, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Whether you're stuck in the office,
I believe you have my stapler,
in your car, or at your in-laws.
You want a piece of me? You bet I do.
The Zone is with you every step of the way. Download the KSL Sports app to get live streaming of your favorite shows and access to all the latest updates on your favorite teams. Your home for the best coverage of the Utes, Cougars, Jazz, and Mammoth is on air, online, and on the KSL Sports app. This is 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Does your retirement planning sound like this? No, because retirement isn't a game. It's a long-term strategy. Mountain America Investment Services can help. Get the pieces to develop your retirement plan. Schedule your appointment with a Mountain America Investment Services advisor at macu.com/retirement. Securities are offered through LPL Financial, a registered broker-dealer. Member FINRA/SIPC. Not insured by NCUA or any other government agency. Not credit union guaranteed. Not credit union deposits or obligations. May lose value.
Utah, you know sports. And nobody connects with fans like the KSL Sports Zone. Every day, our loyal listeners tune in for the latest on the Jazz and the Mammoth, Utes, Cougars, and Aggies, high school sports, all of it live and local. If you're a business owner looking to grow, this is your audience. Engaged, passionate, ready to respond. And when you combine the power of the Zone with digital tools like social, display, streaming audio, geotargeting, and retargeting, you got a smart, full-funnel strategy built for any budget. Tap into the energy of Utah sports fans and drive real results. Learn more at kslsports.com/advertise.
Hi, this is Derek Overstreet, president of the New Millennium Group and co-host of Stop Working, Start Living with KSL News Radio. Can you imagine what your life would be like if you could retire 3 to 5 years earlier than you thought possible? The things you could do, the loved ones you could spend time with, the memories that you could create. That's what our team at the New Millennium Group does. We'll walk you through the entire process every step of the way. If you'd like to get a copy of the 5-step proprietary plan that will help you retire 3 to 5 years sooner than you thought possible, give us a shout right now. 888-999-6370. That's 888-999-6370 or utahsfinancialplanner.com. Listen, most of our listeners right now have a tax problem, not a money problem. There's not enough money in Social Security Medicare as it is. Let us show you how you can significantly reduce your taxes. That's 888-999-6370, 888-999-6370 or utahsfinancialplanner.com.
It's been a real journey since 2014 when I first had my injury. I realized that my home was just not working for me and that it was time to ask for help. Homes for Our Troops is really giving me my life back. The shower allows me to go in and turn around with my chair, pull down storage racks, automated door systems, hours of my morning given back to me. Adaptive sports are a huge part of my life, a huge part of my healing journey as well. Homes for Our Troops helped with making sure that I had a home gym so that I can continue to train. This past year, I was able to host Thanksgiving in my home. And it was the first time I was able to have my whole family in one place, and I was able to contribute to the meal. There are a lot more veterans in need, and Homes for Our Troops is going to be there to help them too.
Homes for Our Troops builds and donates specially adapted custom homes nationwide for severely injured post 9/11 veterans and enables them to rebuild their lives. Join our mission at hfotusa.org.
DevSimplify are your software pros. Whether it's websites, mobile apps, or complex custom systems, DevSimplify is here to make it work and make it easy on you. Need help building software or ongoing management? You've got both. DevSimplify.com designs, develops, and manages the process so your deadline stops slipping and your team stops guessing. Maybe you're stuck in the middle. AI can start a project. Freelancers can build pieces of it. But without real project management, teams get stranded halfway through. DevSimplify.com brings the roadmap, the pit crew, and the finish line. When a software project slows down, breaks down, or stalls out entirely, DevSimplify, the software pros, can turn that chaos into beautiful completion. DevSimplify.com. From the start, or in the middle, to finish and beyond. Ready to move? At DevSimplify.com, you can always schedule a quick and free project assessment. But right now, you can get a complimentary discovery session with 5 hours free. DevSimplify.com, your software pros.
97.5 KZNS FM Colville, 1280 KZNS AM Salt Lake City, and KSL FM HD2 Salt Lake City Midvale. This is 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Refugee camp, conspiracy theory, why? Yeah, why? You're just too good to be true. Can't take my eyes off of you.
Welcome back to the Saturday Show, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Christian Esparza and Alex Napolis do have a bit of breaking news on KSLSports.com. Patty Edwards, the longtime wife of Lavelle Edwards, has passed away at the age of 93. Sounds like she passed away yesterday. Mitch Harper has an article up online talking about her impact on BYU football and that program and everything that she did alongside her husband for BYU football over their long time being involved with the program. So condolences to the Edwards family. She is a huge sports figure down in Provo, and that is big loss for the community down there.
Yeah, it's horrible news to hear. Prayers and our thoughts go out to the Edwards family, man.
Alex, let's talk college basketball here. We are getting into the meat and bones of the college basketball season. I mean, February is just about over with, right? And March is when, like right now during the NBA All-Star break, is when people start to tune into college basketball because conference play is in the swing of things. NCAA tournament is right around the corner, and you're getting some really good basketball being played everywhere.
It's almost March, man.
Let's start with I'm just going to start with the Aggies just because I produced the Aggie games. Been doing a lot of them lately. Aggies are on a hot streak, and today they play a funky non-conference game today, which it's weird to see a non-conference game in the middle of February. It's against Memphis, a game that they scheduled a while ago thinking that this would be a quad 1 game, and Memphis is actually really bad this year, so it's going to be like a quad 3 game. So it really doesn't do much for Utah State, but the Aggies are coming in on a 6-game win streak, including big wins over San Diego State and New Mexico. Most recently, they beat Fresno State, absolutely whooped them on Tuesday, 91-78. The Aggies have it rolling, man. Not a ton to say about this program that you probably don't already know. Like Jared Calhoun, out of all the coaches the Aggies have had over the last 5-6 years, I think Jared Calhoun is the best one, and I truly mean that. I think the way that his team plays and the leadership that they have with Mason Falslev now.
Yeah, I think. I couldn't agree. I couldn't agree more, man.
Thanks for saving me. I had to sneeze.
And then there's a couple of really interesting. There's a couple of really interesting freshmen on that team, man. That I think played really well. You talk about that Fresno State game, and I mean, Perriman, who went off for 16 on that game, was the leading scorer for the Aggies in that one, and Elijah Perriman, phenomenal game against Fresno State, and then you have, of course. Elming too, who's also playing phenomenal.
Careful talking about him too much.
And they got some really fun freshmen playing on that team, man.
Which is crazy. I think that's been Utah State's biggest. I don't want to say their biggest problem over the last few years, because they've been doing a really good job of getting senior talent in the transfer portal, right? Yeah. Previously, it was Darius Brown or Ian Martinez.
MJ Collins this year.
This year, it's MJ Collins.
Absolutely.
But they haven't had the young talent that's been contributing. I mean, Mason Falslev has been a cornerstone for this team for the last 3 years. Carson Templin as well.
Yeah.
Now those guys are getting up there in age. Last year, they didn't really have any young guys. They had a couple that would come off the bench, and here and there they would do something, but not consistent contributors. This year, you have, like you mentioned, Adlan Elamine, who is absolutely everything they could have wanted and more from a true freshman. And then Perriman as well coming in, and he's giving you some solid play. So it really seems like Utah State basketball is in a good spot. Their biggest problem now is going to be holding on to all this talent because Elamine is highly, highly, highly sought after across the country after what he's done, and rightfully so for Utah State.
So I did the coaches show on Thursday night and got to hang out and hear from Jared Calhoun and hear his comments. And he mentioned a lot too about the noise and the praise that's surrounding this program. And, you know, I think that he's approaching this game against Memphis in the right way and approaching the remainder of his schedule in the right way. And that is, you have to ignore the noise, right? As of right now, nothing is solidified for the Utah State Aggies. You have to continue to keep picking up these wins. You have to continue to keep performing the way that you're performing and picking up some crucial wins, right? You still have some big games coming up. You have Boise on Wednesday night. You have a visit to San Diego State next week or in 2 weeks, and then you have Grand Canyon coming to the Spectrum.
Yeah,
and that's a game you lost. And then you go to UNLV, and that's a game you lost at home at the Spectrum, right? And so you still have some really important games coming down the stretch here for Utah State. And like I said, I think Jared Calhoun is approaching it in the best way he possibly can. It's hey, ignore the outside noise. You have to ignore everything. Everybody's talking in the bracketology. You look at the bracketology, and a lot of them have Utah State penciled in, but you know nothing is said and done until the season is over and your name is called on Selection Sunday.
Yeah, I think the path is there for Utah State to win this conference. Right now, they have the most wins at 12 conference wins. San Diego State's right there at 11. New Mexico has 10. Those teams are always going to be in the top. Boise State having a bit of a down year this year, but as you mentioned, I mean, they're always a threat, right? You can't take them lightly. So it's kind of it's a really fun year for the final year of the Mountain West. It's kind of a sad year because everybody knows that this is the last time that all these teams are going to be playing together, because it really has been a very enjoyable basketball conference. I mean, as long as I've been doing these games, but I know long before that. And it's just amazing to see Utah State doing this every single year with the new coaches and the roster turnover, and knowing that the resources up in Logan are limited. So you hope that with the success, those dollars continue to grow and they're able to keep some of this talent, because, I mean, dude, I'm telling you, Adlan Elamine is the truth, man. If the Aggies can find a way to keep him around for at least the next year, I don't even want to say next 2 years, because I honestly think he could get drafted after next year. That's how good he is.
Okay.
But at least, you know, hold on to him, keep him in Logan, make him the face of the program. And yeah, the Aggies are going to be on the national radar. I mean, they already kind of are. Like, everybody knows that the Utah State Aggies are going to be in the tournament every single year, and maybe they'll win a game. I think they will this year. I think they have a really good chance. So
they're always fun to watch, man, and you know, it'll be fun to watch them in the Mountain West tournament. And like you said, it's the last one with this group of teams, and so I think that just adds a little bit more excitement to that tournament. The Mountain West tournament, it's always fun. It's always great to watch, and there's always some really fun basketball and some really great basketball moments happening at the Mountain West tournament. And so I think that there's going to be some extra intrigue and some extra magical moments with it being the last time that this group of teams will go head to head as Mountain West teams.
Let's talk BYU a little bit. They got back on track earlier this week. They had lost 4 games in a row, and then they got back on track with a win at Baylor. 99-94. The Cougs had almost a 20-point lead kind of late in the second half, and then down the stretch, honestly, 99-94, it's a 5-point win. I think that's a little padded. because Baylor kept getting the free throw line late in the game. I felt comfortable about that win for the Cougs. And it was a game they needed to win to snap that streak, right? Because they lost to some really good teams. They lost to Arizona. They lost to Kansas. They lost to Houston. They lost to Texas Tech a little bit before that. Like, those aren't bad losses by any means. Oklahoma State's a bad loss, but they did need to get back on track against Baylor, and that's what happened. It took 40 minutes from both A.J. DeBonsa and Rob Wright III. They both played the entire game, but you got 66 points out of both of them. So that's what you got to do, man. Those were your two biggest fish on the team, and they're going to lead you to victory.
They're not bad losses, right? This is at that time, Texas Tech was the number 15 team in the country when you lost to them. Arizona is the number 1 at the time, undefeated. Kansas was 14th at the time that they lost to Kansas. And then, of course, this past weekend, you took on number 8 number 8 Houston.
Yeah, and Houston's a dang good team.
Those aren't bad losses at all, no. But I think the concern for me is the depth of this team, the depth of the BYU basketball team. Because, I mean, you see A.J. DeBonsa, and you see the performances and what he puts up. You see Rob Wright. Rob Wright had a phenomenal game against his former team Baylor in that win on Tuesday. And you see the performances from Richie Saunders, right? You see the performances from the big three. But the depth of BYU basketball is what concerns me, right? Because you haven't been able to prove that when it comes down to the Big 12 tournament, when it's tournament time, can you beat a number 8 Houston? Can you beat a number 14 Kansas? Can you beat, et cetera? Yeah. Right? Can you make it over that hump and be able to beat those teams in the moments that really, really matter?
Yeah, because we talk about, we had somebody ask us a few weeks ago, like, where BYU needs to finish in the regular season. We weren't really worried about it because the regular season is not what matters. It's the Big 12 tournament that matters, and then the NCAA tournament after that. What's funny about that is that doesn't mean you go lose 5 out of 6 games.
Yeah.
But the good thing is there's still plenty of basketball left for the Cougars to put themselves in a good position going into March. You still have to play at Arizona. You get a crack at Iowa State, and that one's in Provo. That's a good thing. And then you host Texas Tech to wrap up the season. Those are your 3 ranked opponents left on the schedule. So, yeah, BYU still has plenty of opportunity to finish, higher than where they're at right now. They are currently 6th in the Big 12 at 6-5. Texas Tech is right above them at 8-3. Iowa State 8-3 as well. So a lot of basketball left. I don't think they're going to finish, top 3 in the conference, top 4 going into the tournament, but they definitely could have a shot finishing 5th or 6th.
And then, of course, you have to make a big run in the tournament. I think if any type of early elimination for BYU in the Big 12 tournament is he's going to be painted as a failure, despite not being able to, despite not being able to knock off these teams in the regular season. But I think if you have an early exit in the Big 12 tournament, that's going to be seen as a failure, and that's going to cause, I think, a lot of concern for BYU fans heading into the NCAA tournament.
Oh, definitely. I mean, that's the expectations that were set. You go to the Sweet 16 last year. You bring in A.J. DeBonsa, highest paid player in college basketball. I mean, you can assume maybe, if not, he's definitely top 3. One of the highest rated recruits ever in college basketball. Definitely the highest rated recruit BYU's ever had. So it's like, yeah, all these people we're talking about Elite 8 or Final 4, and then you come in and you can't even, finish top 3 in your conference. That's a bad look. So I think the talent is there for BYU, and that's the good thing. And we are being so harsh, again, because those expectations were so high. And I definitely don't think it's out of the picture for BYU to finish that high. I think they can. Kevin Young's a good coach. A.J. DeBonsa is that good of a player, and he's been playing really well.
I think for BYU, realistically, I think for me to feel a little bit more comfortable about this team heading into Big 12 tournament play is I think you have to win 5 or 6 of your last 7 here.
I mean, you should. That's what they should be able to do, and that starts today at home against Colorado. Jimmer Fredette is going to have his jersey retired, so that's going to be a fun thing. You got everybody coming out. Dave Rose, longtime coach, is going to be there. Tim Lacombe is going to be there. I mean, everybody involved with those Jimmer teams is going to be there for that celebration. So that's going to be cool to see. That game is at 2. But you're right. It starts with Colorado, and then they do have some tough, like at number 1 Arizona is an incredibly tough game.
Yeah.
We'll see if they're still ranked number 1 when the rankings come out next week because they did lose to Kansas. But that's a tough game, no doubt about it. But I do think, you want to sit here and talk all big. Yeah, you've got some tough opponents coming up, but you should, I think 5 of 7 is a really good record to close.
And I think, right, if you win anything less than that, then the conversations are going to start to be had about, is this team really meant to do what the expectation was set at the beginning of the season?
Yeah.
So it feels like right now, I think you feel a little bit better with the win against Baylor. But the question is, and the conversations are going to be had, right? They're still in a little bit of tumultuous waters, right? They need to figure out they need to find ways to win against these teams that are going to improve your resume, that are going to get you the better seed lines heading into the NCAA tournament. And it starts with that away game at Arizona. It starts with the home game against Iowa State next week. But of course, make sure to take care of business against Colorado.
And frankly, the first time they played Arizona, I mean, it was a 3-point loss. And Rob Wright played like one of the worst games you'll ever see from him. And you would expect him to not have that bad of a performance again. So
they had a claw back.
They did. But yeah, that's with Rob Wright really struggling. So if you get Rob Wright to wake up and, AJ's doing his thing with 30, 35 points, BYU can hang with not just Arizona, but anybody in this conference and anybody in this country.
I think a lot of people were probably relieved to see Rob Wright had the performance that he had against Baylor.
Yeah.
And I think even Rob Wright might be a little bit relieved to have that type of performance, and hopefully he can carry that momentum and carry that confidence into some massive games that are coming down the stretch here for BYU basketball.
Snapped a bit of a slump, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
Okay, let's take a break. Coming up next on the other side, we're going to get into 5 minutes of. We've got some football news coming out of BYU that came out yesterday. We'll talk about that next. Also talk about a little bit of Olympic hockey. I'm wearing my Team USA shirt.
Hey,
big game for the boys today.
There you go.
Seen a lot of fun hockey over the last couple of days, so we'll hit that next. Stick with us. It's the Saturday Show, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
This is JJ and Alex. I got these.
I want you to go off a little bit more about how the rebuild is over. A trade like this hits harder when your team has come as far as the Jazz have come, and especially Canton George.
What the Jazz did today was take a huge leap forward to the point of not only is the rebuild over, this is who we are. We have potentially 3 All-Stars in our starting lineup with young players who have the potential to also become All-Stars, Ace Bailey and whoever they're going to take in this upcoming draft.
Right.
We're not only going to compete and try to make the playoffs next year, we're going to be a force. Take us seriously now. We have a lineup that you must take seriously. We're going to compete at a high level moving forward, and you don't have to worry about all this stuff and all this pain. The pain is gone. Now you're going to enjoy the fruits of your labor. This team's going to be really, really good next year as long as they stay healthy.
Catch JJ and Alex afternoons from 3 to 7 on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Be advised, this is your opportunity to save up to 40 to 80% on a hot tub or swim spa this weekend only, today through Sunday. 2 locations, Salt Lake City and Hurricane. Be advised, this is your opportunity to save up to 40 to 80% on a hot tub or swim spa. Utah State Fair Park and Washington County Fair Legacy Park. 18-month interest-free financing. Our factories have demanded we sell 1,000 hot tubs and swim spas this weekend. Utah State Fair Park. Huge factory incentives, factory rebates, this weekend only. Washington County Fair Legacy Park. We can remove your old hot tub. Free delivery of your new hot tub. Just relax and enjoy. Starting price is too low to advertise. Today through Sunday. 2 locations, Salt Lake City and Hurricane. Utah State Fair Park and Washington County Fair Legacy Park. Deep discounts. Today, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Tomorrow, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Free admission, free parking, free delivery. 2 locations, Salt Lake City and Hurricane. Call 833-SPA-SALE or visit hottubandSwimSpaSale.com.
January's over, but your goals don't have to be. If you missed your start date or your January weight loss plan already fell apart, this is your do-over. This is your resolution reset. Right now, Salt Lake City Fat Loss is offering $200 off to help you get back on track to the end of February, plus 1 free body contouring session where you can lose up to 2 inches per session. Our doctor-developed all-natural program helps you lose up to 1 pound of fat per day with no injections, no drugs, no workouts, and no prepackaged meals.
JJ here. I lost 40 pounds in 60 days thanks to this program. Alex here. I've dropped 65 pounds. SLCfatloss.com.
Stop restarting and start getting results. Take advantage of the Resolution Reset with $200 off, ending February 28th, plus one free body contouring session where you can lose up to 2 inches per session. Many patients lose 20 to 30 pounds in just 1 or 2 months. Call now and schedule your free consultation at slcfatloss.com. That's slcfatloss.com. Results may vary.
Arrive in style for all of life's events, from the first suit to the first dance, from preparing to serve to standing side by side, starting a life together. At every age, at every milestone, Mr. Mac helps you feel confident and prepared by showing up looking your best no matter where life takes you. Locally owned and operated for nearly 60 years, Mr. Mac, helping you look your best for all of life's events.
Some journeys start small, with small pause and big purpose.
Look how little you are, you sweet girl.
Every great partnership begins with the first step,
Bella, let's go.
guiding them through the world so one day they can guide someone through life. With shared experience, confidence grows, and the path becomes clear. It takes time, patience, and love. But the reward lasts a lifetime.
Hey, good girl, Bella.
You don't just raise a puppy. You raise a future. Become a Dogs Inc. puppy raiser. Give a dog a purpose. Give someone hope.
Learn more at dogsinc.org.
Greater Zion has no better visual than Copper Rock Golf Course, where every swing is surrounded in breathtaking landscapes and enhanced with world-class amenities. Outdoor adventure with the greatest golf. Copper Rock. Come for the golf. Stay for the adventure.
Hey, this is Chris with JCW's. Craving something sweet? We do ice cream right. Come in and try one of our shakes, freezes, or an ice cream cone, and you'll see why we say JCW's, quality, and a lot of it.
It's that time again.
Five.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes.
Only 5 minutes. Everybody got that?
Oh, yeah. It's all coming together.
Get on with it.
Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock.
Yes, get on with
it. Welcome back to the Saturday Show, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Christian Esparza, Alex Napolis. It's time for 5 minutes of. We'll spend a little bit of time on a few different topics. Amidst all this Jazz news during the week, Alex, there was another local story that I don't want to say flew under the radar because it's actually a huge deal.
Yeah.
Parker Kingston, I guess you can say former BYU receiver, arrested on rape charges in St. George. Apparently, it was almost a year-long investigation. The incident allegedly happened last February, the end of last February. And we do have an update. Parker Kingston, no longer a member of BYU's football team, no longer a student at the university as all of this is going down. He was arrested on Wednesday. I believe he made a court appearance earlier in the week, and some documents were unsealed, some additional information coming out. I know there was a lot of speculation about what BYU did and didn't know. I feel comfortable assuming that if the documents were sealed and a lot of this information was being kept hidden, I think it's fair to say that BYU did not know about this. But again, I don't really know for sure. Nobody really knows for sure. But I mean, the university is obviously saying they were not made aware of the arrest until when it happened on Wednesday.
The BYU released a statement too and said that the university administration and athletic administration, including BYU head coach Kalani Sitake, were only made aware of the investigation and allegations after Kingston's arrest this past Wednesday, February 11th.
Yeah,
and that was the statement from BYU.
So this is, I mean, we got to be careful about this, obviously. This is a terrible, terrible story, and you feel horrible for the woman involved. And it's, on top of that, it's just considering everything that happened last May with Jake Retzloff. The last thing that BYU wants is for this type of story to be in the news again for the second consecutive season. And there was stuff that happened with a former baseball player over the offseason, and I don't want to sit here and act like those are all related. and that they have anything to do with BYU as a university, because that's incredibly reckless to think or say. And that is completely untrue to act like, again, that is in any way related to BYU. It's all purely just coincidental. But at the same time, this cannot happen. I mean, it shouldn't ever happen once. And for it to happen in consecutive off seasons is a horrible, horrible look for the program. And that's just, I mean, that's the fact of the matter. Not saying that, you know, it's tied to BYU in any way, but they got to get on top of this, man. And I hope the athletic department really cracks down on the student athletes and really just pounds into their head. Like, they cannot be doing this type of stuff. Now, I will say, you look at the timeline, this incident with Parker Kingston happened before the Jake Retzlaff news came out, right? So now, with both of these stories being part of the news cycle, I think that you get what I'm saying there. Like, it's not like the team learned of what Jake Retzlaff did or allegedly didn't do, I don't know, and then he went out and did this.
Yeah.
This incident happened before that news came out against Retzlaff.
The initial reporting said that the investigation had been going on for since February of 2025, so a year ago, and they spent quite a few time gathering digital and physical evidence, and then on Tuesday the news came out, and Washington County put out the press release that Parker Trent Kingston had been arrested in Washington County and was held without bail, and then had his hearing yesterday, and met bail there on yesterday.
So he's gone, no longer a member of the team. Hopefully everybody can just move forward after this. And, you know, it's an unfortunate situation. It is what it is. And now you just, you know, turn the page. Hopefully the legal process sorts itself out. And, you know, the victim, whoever the victim is in this situation, hopefully everything gets their justice, their due justice.
Absolutely. So. Absolutely.
Some other news, Clayton Keller on Team USA Hockey. It's not looking like he's going to be on the ice again today for their second game of the tournament. They're still in the group stages. Team Canada picked up their second win, so they have 6 points. They're going to win Group A. Team USA is playing later today. They're going to be playing Germany, so that's going to be a fun one, going up against JJ Peterka, Leon Draisaitl from the the Oilers. Very good player for Team Germany as well. So that could be a fun game for Team USA. That's coming up at 1:10 local time. But with the initial morning skate, it looked like Clayton Keller was not a member of the main rotation.
Unfortunate, but there is a game tomorrow. They will play again. As far as the U.S. men's hockey team goes, they will play again tomorrow. And so hopefully Clayton Keller gets some action with a back-to-back. And
you would like to think that would happen. Because he's there.
Yeah.
I mean, he's on the team for a reason.
We just want to see him on the ice, man.
Just got to see him on the ice.
See the local guys on the ice, absolutely. It was fun to watch them, though, take down Latvia on, was it Tuesday? Or, sorry, no, it was Thursday.
Yeah.
It was Thursday. They ended up winning that one 5-1, and, at first they got off to a slow start, probably should have had a little bit more goals there in that second period, but ultimately able to get the job done. 5-1 in a dominant showcase again with, of course, on display some of the best NHL players in the entire world, in the entire country, as far as getting that 5-1 win.
Yeah, dude, I hope all this excitement and build-up plays off, because everybody, I think, around the hockey world is wanting to see Team USA versus Team Canada.
Absolutely.
And Team Canada played first the other day, and they beat, let's see, their first win was against Sechia, that's right, 5-0. They were on the power play, Alex, and this was their top power play line. Sam Reinhart, who helped Florida win a championship last year. Sidney Crosby, the best player of this generation. Nathan McKinnon, the best player in the NHL right now. Connor McDavid, the most talented player in the NHL. And then Cale Makar, who is the second best player on the best team in the NHL.
Yeah.
Probably the most loaded power play unit ever. I mean, look, I'm a new hockey fan. It's pretty hard to find a power play line that is more talented top to bottom than that. Crazy.
Absolutely. That team is stacked.
Team Canada is loaded, and it's Macklin Celebrini, who is their young kid, obviously San Jose Sharks player, doing a lot of damage as well. He's got a couple goals already. So I think Team USA is watching Team Canada. I do think that Team USA is the best team in their group, in Group C, and if everything works out, you're going to get a Team USA versus Team Canada in the gold medal match. Can the United States hang with Canada? I don't know, man. I really don't know. Sean, you're a hockey guy. You have thoughts on this?
Canada's just so loaded, man.
They're so good.
Hey.
I want the USA to be
I would hope you want
better than them, but
Never say never.
I can't wait to see it, honestly.
Never say never. Canada now a perfect 2-0 at the Olympics after beating Switzerland in the preliminary round game on yesterday, as you were just mentioning. And they are very, very fun to watch.
The funny thing with Team USA is they've got a lot of it's like blue blood family ties thing, because they've got the Tkachuk brothers and they've got the Hughes brothers on the roster, and they're all really good. Like, it's not like Giannis and Thanasis Antetokounmpo, right, where he's just kind of there because his brother's so good. Like, both of the Tkachuks are really good, and both of the Hughes brothers that are there are really good. There's another one that kind of doesn't get talked about as much, but Jack and Quinn are really, really good. And like the first goal of Team USA's game against Latvia was it was a pass from Matthew to Brady, and then Brady scored the first goal. So I think that was fun to see. Brock Nelson had a tremendous game, set up on a pass from, I think it was Jack Hughes to Quinn Hughes and then to Brock Nelson. So there definitely is a family dynamic to Team USA, and I think that's kind of a funny, I guess, side story to the way that this roster is set up, because those players are really, really good. But it's just, I mean, it's two different styles of hockey, and who's going to win? Who's going to come out on top? Like the blue blood, like in your face, going to push you around style, or the high-powered offense that Team Canada has. And again, I just hope all this excitement pays off.
Absolutely. And want to give a quick shout-out to, as well, the USA women's hockey team, who has been absolutely dominant at the Olympics. I think up to this point, they've still just conceded the one goal, and they are routing their opponents. You have a 5-1 win over Czechia, a 5-0 win over Finland, a 5-0 win over Switzerland, a 5-0 win over Canada, and then a 6-0 win yesterday against Italy in the quarterfinal.
So they have not been scored on?
Just the one.
The one.
They have just conceded the one, and that was literally the first game against Czechia. They have not conceded a goal since that first game. 5-0, 5-0, 5-0, and then 6-0 yesterday against Italy. So big shout out to the USA women's hockey team, who have gone in and I think have impressed a lot of people. A lot of people paying attention now to that women's team, and hopefully that women's team can come out with some gold, man.
Over to, where is it? It's in LA this year, the All-Star weekend, right? Ace Bailey representing the Utah Jazz in the Rising Stars Challenge. Ace was called in as the injury replacement for Cooper Flagg, so it was really good to see Ace finally get that call. We all know he was deserving to be in the initial roster, but he ends up there. He was on Team Mello. Team Mello won their first game. Ace actually had a really good game. I think he had 5 points in that first game. Maybe he might have had 8 points, but then Team Mello lost to Yegor Demon's team in the final. So, I mean, it is what it is. I do think that the actual NBA All-Star Game is like the worst and most boring event to watch. I actually had a lot of fun watching the Celebrity All-Star Game, and I'm not even joking. Like, it's kind of funny because all these people are trying really hard, but they're not that good at basketball.
Right.
But then you've got like White Chocolate was on one of the teams. Keenan Allen and Amon-Ra St. Brown are on the teams. Taco Fall, who spent a couple years in the NBA, he's on a team. So you've got these players that are like professional caliber athletes.
It was fun to watch Taco Fall.
And then you've got Taylor Frankie Paul, who's like 5'1" on the same court as Taco Fall.
Yeah.
And so I thought that was really funny. I actually was pretty entertained, even though I didn't know most of these celebrities. I was pretty entertained by the Celebrity All-Star Game. I think it's pretty funny.
It was also fun to watch Shams Charania go 0 points, 0 for 4 field goals, and 3 turnovers. and spent 13 minutes on his phone.
Are you reading the graph? They like put the
they
stat line graphic?
Absolutely. They're you know the Tony Snell one that's like 0 points. Yeah, they're putting them like side by side. So you have Tony Snell and Shams Charania graphics right
Shams got
right
snelled.
next to each other. Yeah,
That's
he
funny.
did. And then it was amazing. I think the highlight of the night was the Kevin Durant tweet that came out during the All-Star game, or during the Celebrity All-Star game, where KD quote tweeted a tweet where Shams Charania is on the bench on his phone, and he says, "My goodness, have some respect, Shams," during the game, with a bunch of question marks, and it's just a picture of Shams Charania on his phone.
He's true.
Yeah.
Let Chris Haynes get some shine. Like you did earlier in the week.
Yeah, there you go.
Buddy. I think it was dumb that Shams was playing anyways.
I thought it was hilarious,
He's not a celebrity.
man. I thought it was hilarious.
He's just some bozo.
Oh.
Yeah, I gotta censor myself there.
I thought it was so funny, man. And then I think probably I would agree with you when it comes to the All-Star Weekend. The celebrity game it's actually kind of fun, because it is fun to watch guys like Keegan Michael Key.
Yeah.
Try to
like
play
he's
basketball.
trying, he's just not good.
Yeah, that's probably one of my favorites. One of my favorite events this year, though. That's probably my Valentine's plans, man. I'm gonna be watching USA take on Denmark today at the Olympics, and then I'm gonna be tuning into the All-Star game, man.
You gonna watch the dunk
All-Star
contest?
stuff. Yeah, absolutely.
Couldn't tell you.
Last year I couldn't watch it because the Four Nations was happening at the same time.
Yeah,
so
that's
I didn't even tune into any All-Star events.
Or you can tune into Aggie basketball.
That too,
That's
absolutely.
right here on 1280.
That too, absolutely.
Let's take a break and then we'll wrap up the show next. Coming up, still a little bit more to go. Stick with us. It's the Saturday show, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
This is Jake Scott and Ben Anderson.
Gail Miller always used to use the word stewardship. I used to hear that a lot. And I like that kind of concept because sports franchises do mean more than just businesses. They mean more to the community. They mean more to the members, all the things than just businesses.
Sure.
We're not doing restaurant talk radio at kslrestaurant.com.
Right.
You know, people are passionate. They're loyal. It hits different. And I do think that you owe it to your fans to run it correctly. That doesn't mean you have to rattle off a zillion championships.
No, of course not.
That doesn't mean that you have to have ultimate success all of the time. That doesn't mean any of that. That means that you kind of owe it to be a good representation of the community. So many people, the only thing they know about Cleveland is their joke football team.
Hear Jake Scott and Ben Anderson every day from 10 to noon on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Since 1973, Belliston Jewelry has created a legacy of true value and incredible quality that stands alone. Here's Joe Belliston, owner of Belliston Jewelry.
Whether you need in-house jewelry repair, you want to design your own ring, or you want to buy a simple Valentine's Day gift, you get a dozen roses free with a minimum purchase of only $129 while supplies last.
But what if a guy doesn't know what to buy? Can Bellistons tell him what's trending?
Guys, you can't miss. Our expert staff will tell you exactly what women want right now.
One of my favorites is Belliston Jewelry's new Love You bands. They have U-shaped cutouts on the sides and the cute little hearts right underneath the diamonds.
That's why they're called Love You bands. I designed these bands to be worn alone, stacked, or matched up to an engagement ring. Women are loving them.
Express your love with the gift of fine jewelry and get a free dozen roses for Valentine's Day. Belliston Jewelry, made just for you, cherished for generations. BellistonJewelry.com.
Hi, David James here for Soda Weight Loss. 2 weeks in, I am down 10 pounds. I am halfway to my goal, 50% of the way there. Why have I made such progress? Because Soda has put me in contact with a nutritionist who's got a program set up just for me. If I got to travel for a couple days, all kinds of tips to help make sure that I keep that sugar and sodium out of my diet, because that is why I gained the weight. The nutritionist is key. No shots, no pills, which is great because I don't want to take the shots and the pills. And also they're expensive. You want to be paying for that forever? Keep that money in your pocket. Learn how to eat right and exercise right. Take that knowledge and save money for a lifetime. Learn how to eat right with the help of a Soda nutritionist. You can find them online at sodaweightloss.com. That's SOTA, weightloss.com. Or call 866-800-SODA and talk to a nutritionist now. 866-800-SOTA, Soda Weight Loss. Join us for a short time to have results that last a lifetime.
This month, Tim Daly Mazda Southtown is offering 0.9% for up to 60 months on brand new 2026 Mazda CX-50s. That's right, 0.9 on new Mazda CX-50s. Get yours in windshield pearl, jet black mica, or any color you choose. There's no better time than now to get your new Mazda. Come in today to Tim Daly Mazda Southtown in Sandy. Some restrictions apply. APR OAC not available with any other offers. See dealer for complete details.
This is St. Jude patient Reagan. She's 3.
Ooh, I like sparkly.
This is Jeritza. She's 5.
Nanona.
And this is Delta. She's 4.
Can you see me now?
They all received treatment for cancer at St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Now they can spend their days playing with dolls, making art, and dressing up.
I look beautiful in there.
Instead of thinking about cancer.
Twinkle, little star.
Thanks to supporters like you, the team at St. Jude has helped push the overall childhood cancer survival rate in the U.S. from 20% to more than 80%. And we won't stop. This is what childhood should be like. Let's help more kids just be kids. Learn more at stjude.org. Finding cures, saving children.
Are you due for something that actually tastes as good as the service feels? You need a trip to Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. No rushing, no stress, just great food, great energy, and someone else taking care of everything. Ruth's Chris Steakhouse, downtown Salt Lake City and Hotel Park City.
Listen every Monday morning to DJ and PK and Monday afternoon with JJ and Alex for your Chevy Strong Play of the Game. Win great prizes from Rocky Mountain Chevy.
Welcome back to the Saturday Show, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Christian Esparza, Alex Napolis. Slow day on the station with the All-Star break and the Olympic break.
Yeah.
For the Jazz and Mammoth, respectively. Yeah. So, just going to have Utah State on the station later today. Coming up, that's going to be at 5:30. The pregame show with Scotty G will start, and then it is a 6 p.m. tip up in Logan. It's going to be a fun game, man. Penny Hardaway, the coach of Memphis. So I think it's funny, Scotty talking to a lot of the Utah State players and coaches because Memphis isn't good this year. They're like excited that Penny Hardaway's coming to Logan. And that's like the big story of the game.
Yeah. I mean, absolute legend, right?
Yeah.
4-time NBA All-Star, 2-time All-NBA first team, and a legend, you know, from back in the day. And when a name like Penny Hardaway comes to the state of Utah, I mean, it's even if it is like at a coaching capacity for the Memphis Tigers, like it's still very, very awesome to see somebody of his pedigree and somebody of you know, prominence that Penny Hardaway comes to the state of Utah.
Yeah. Especially in Logan.
Absolutely. Oh yeah.
Like it's not like it's Salt Lake City, it's Logan, Utah.
Right.
Like get up there and enjoy all the fine dining Logan has to offer.
But a nice tune-up game coming up here for Utah State, man. And a good opportunity to, you know, Coach Calhoun mentioned it on Thursday, right? They could have taken the bye. They could have taken a weekend to rest up and get ready for the final stretch of the season. But he wanted to keep this team in competition. He wanted to keep this team in rhythm. And so a great opportunity here to, you know, continue to play basketball, but not have to worry too much about Mountain West play for, I guess, at least the weekend.
Well, I hope it works.
Yeah.
Alex, the Jazz have been the talk of the NBA the last couple of days, obviously getting handed down a $500,000 fine 2 days ago. And then we'll see what Adam Silver has to say tomorrow. I'm sure he's going to get asked about this. I hope he gets bombarded, you know, on what he wants to do to fix tanking. I hope he has real answers that actually work. I would be shocked if we do get real answers that actually work, but it is, I mean, you hate to see the Jazz getting scrutinized for things, but it's at the very least, I mean, the Jazz are being talked about, and that's a good thing. And you were out the Saturday after they made the big move for Jaren Jackson Jr., but I think everything is pointing to the Utah Jazz finally competing next season. And it feels like the rebuild is over, man. It feels like there's a light at the end of the tunnel. So we'll see what changes are made to fix tanking or whatever the heck that means.
Yeah. I mean, the reasons why you tank and the reasons why you put yourself in these positions, again, you look at teams like the Detroit Pistons, who in 2024, heading into the All-Star break, they were the worst team in the NBA, sitting at 8-46.
Yep.
They
had 8 wins before the All-Star break.
8 wins before the All-Star break.
I forgot about
2024.
That was like one of the worst teams of all time.
Absolutely. And so you have now heading into the All-Star break, the Detroit Pistons have 40 wins. They've just lost 13 and are considered one of the best in the East.
Yeah.
That's why you tank. The San Antonio Spurs, worst team in the Western Conference in 2024 at 11-44, last place in the Western Conference heading into the All-Star break. This year, they're 38-16 and in second place in the Western Conference.
Yeah.
This is why you tank. This is why the Jazz are doing what they've done for the last 3.5 years. This is why, we're even having this conversation about people going after the Utah Jazz, because it's, again, just what we talked about earlier. It's the way the system is set up. So you can do what the Detroit Pistons did. So you can do what the San Antonio Spurs have done.
I mean, it's a novelty idea, right? Bad teams get the best player coming in. Like, duh. That's how it should work. You shouldn't have the Mavericks getting Cooper Flag. You shouldn't have, the Hawks. I know they didn't get a generational player with Ricochet, but there's no reason that the Hawks should have picked number 1 that year.
Yeah.
That's why the lottery is a dumb idea to begin with.
Yeah.
I talked about it a little earlier in the show. I think the best thing to do is just to get rid of the lottery and just do straight up, based on win-loss record. And yeah, you're going to get teams that tank. So what? Like, that happens. But at the very, very least, genuinely bad teams are going to get the worst pick. And then you can talk about removing protections. You can talk about doing some other things to hammer down on these teams that shut down players for the rest of the season, like the Wizards are doing, or whatever, man. But I think you start there. Just get rid of the lottery and simplify it. It doesn't need to be complicated.
Simplify it. Do whatever you have to do, but there has to be a solution. And there has to be... if anything comes out of this Jazz taking controversy, it needs to be that there has to be something done to the system in place now. For teams like the Jazz, who are considered a small market team, to be able to get better and not have to sit in lottery purgatory for years and years.
Yeah. I mean, if the Jazz would have got Cooper Flag last year, man.
Absolutely. Different story.
It could have been.
Different story. I missed out last week, missed the Jaren Jackson Jr. stuff. I just want to throw that out there that the Jaren Jackson Jr. trade, absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah.
And I think every Jazz fan should be excited for what this team can be and will be heading into the next season. We even before the Jaren Jackson trade, I think we had the conversation a couple weeks ago, Christian. This is a Jazz team who's going to be winning next season, and I think with that, it's just adds even more flair, adds more defensive flair to a Utah Jazz team who, again, next season I think will be competitive, and I think we'll have opportunities to jump up in the Western Conference and possibly compete for.
Yeah, we got to see him play a few games before he got shut down, and he came in, did basically everything that he was advertised to be. He's going to come in, he can give you 20, 22, 23 points a night. He'll snag a couple rebounds, not as many as he should be. He's actually pretty good putting the ball on the ground. He can take the three-point shot. He'll shoot about 35% from three. And then defensively, he's just a menace, man. And you put him and Lowry on the court together, and that's already hard enough to deal with. And then you throw in Walker Kessler next year on top of that, and things could get really fun for the Utah Jazz.
Absolutely.
So, like I said, light at the end of the tunnel. You just got to make it through these final 27 games. You know the Jazz are going to try and lose a lot of them. Next year, it's full go, baby. So
very excited for it.
Thanks, everybody, for listening. We'll catch you next week. And then, again, coming up later today, the Utah State Aggies, 5:30 pregame, 6 p.m. tip. So tune into that with Scotty G. For Alex Napolis, for Sean producing Behind the Glass, I'm Christian. It's the Saturday Show, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Whether you're stuck in the office,
I believe you have my stapler.
in your car, or at your in-laws,
You want a piece of me? You bet I do.
The Zone is with you every step of the way. Download the KSL Sports app to get live streaming of your favorite shows and access to all the latest updates on your favorite teams. Your home for the best coverage of the Utes, Cougars, Jazz, and Mammoth is on air, online, and on the KSL Sports app. This is 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Arrive in style for all of life's events, from the first suit to the first dance, from preparing to serve to start